I can hear you. I can see you. We did it.
Awesome.
First try.
Thank God. Man, sorry. I'm out of breath.
You're good while you're out of breath.
Uh, Carrying a baby in a car seat, it gets you.
Yeah, dude.
I forgot how hard that is.
It sucks, bro. I'm dealing with that right now. 6 month old, and this kid's like, I think it's the baby seat. You fucked up.
Did you have another kid?
Yeah, I had
Hey,
one in
congratulations.
thank you October. I had um yeah. You know what? It's been a while since we talked, so maybe yeah. I thought maybe you had known it was coming, but no, I think it was before.
Last time we talked, you said that you guys were thinking about it.
Wow, it's crazy how time goes by.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I had one in October, and you had one
February.
February. February
Yeah,
what?
7th.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
So
But
how was that experience? I mean, you have two already. Like like you said, you're having to get back into it. How was that experience again?
um, I guess it's kind of like riding a bike. Like after so long, you're like, oh yeah, like the basic like knowledge and function is still there. Like I haven't ridden a bike in a long time, but I'm sure that if I tried, I'll get on and be fine within the first 2 seconds. And it kind of felt the same way as soon as they handed him over to me, like because I remember when I first held my oldest, uh, like you're shaking, like you're full of adrenaline. You're like, oh my god, I'm gonna hurt this thing. Like they're so fragile. But then like you see like the nurses, they're fucking just like tossing them, throwing them,
Yep.
like grabbing them. Like I was like, well, I guess. I mean, if they can do it, I can do it. So yeah, how was yours?
It was the same. Honestly, that's crazy. You mentioned that. It's crazy that you mentioned that because yeah, that's something that I learned in the hospital room that first time with my first kid. It was like, I felt very like I was gonna break them. And I've heard stories, like my mom accidentally dislocated my shoulder when I was a little baby. And like stuff like that where it's like, but then I see the nurses doing it and I'm like, no fucking way, dude. Just like you put it. But it was cool. It was easier because like the first time we stayed 2 days and they made us stay.
Hmm.
And then this time, the second time, they were like, you could stay or you can leave. We're like, yeah, we already kind of knew. So we literally stayed like 24 hours and we left.
That's cool. Do you have
Yeah. So
another boy?
another boy, two boys. Yeah.
Wow,
Trying for a girl and got a boy, but it's all good. It's all good.
that's cool. Yeah, no, we were. Our first one was well. I mean, you know what happened. It wasn't as Pam Beasley would say. It wasn't an accident. It was a surprise.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. We, I was already kind of like, oh, I was like, oh well, like I'm never gonna have that boy, whatever. Like I was thinking, if somebody gives me shit about it, well, who else had all girls? Kobe Bryant, Terry Bradshaw,
Eminem.
Muhammad Ali, Dave Grohl, The Rock. Like tell them, tell them, that sucks. Not having boys. Some of the greatest of all time. But yeah,
But
huh?
is that a thing, or do you think that that's something that like society puts down on people, where you feel like you need to have a boy? Like
I
is
think
that a thing people actually give you grief for, or you just feel it on your own?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I guess sometimes because I work, I kind of got a little bit of grief about it. But I always thought to myself, I was like, there's other guys here that have like 4 or 5 girls with no boys. I'm only I only got the two. But I mean, like either way, you think people like Kobe Bryant, like Muhammad
Right.
Ali, like
So many.
even like look at The Rock. Dude's ripped out of his mind, like even more than he was back when the WWF was like huge. and he's still having girls. Well, I
There's this
mean,
there's this guy at work who reminds me of you, and mainly not mainly just because of how your attitudes are. That's mainly it, but also because he has two daughters,
mm,
and I really respect this guy. I look up to him, and he's a really good worker. Me and him work really well together. But he's someone that I always think about that, like because he was telling me like, dude, we had two girls. We tried for a boy, didn't get the boy. Got two girls. We're done. That's it. Not a big deal. But I always wondered like do people give him shit for that? Like just like ego or alpha males who would just think that only guys give that thought process. But my point
yeah,
is like I always wondered about that. Is that like a thing that people manifest in their own brain, or is that really a thing that people do? Because I can see certain things we don't talk about. Like there's a lot of things like I
yeah,
was telling you earlier in text messages we don't talk about as society. We should, but we don't like that. Or like the fact that I was telling you about other things, but yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, I think scientifically speaking, uh, like we produce more women's sperm than men's sperm. Now, it's honestly shocking that there's even guys still around because I think I saw the statistics of it.
Oh, they say you
It's
saw
like
it with your own eyes.
it's seriously like I mean I'm probably wrong, but I think I remember it being like 1 to 10 chance that you're gonna be like a guy, and like fuck, like those are the odds. Like how are guys still around?
Right.
So, but and then it's crazy to think like God, I'm trying to think like there I have a coworker. Well, he's like a supervisor, and he has like 4 boys. Imagine that shit, 4 boys, and
Ugh.
two of them are twins. And two of them are twins, and I remember him like when I first started, he'd kind of leave like at least once or twice a month because they'd get calls from the school, like his twins were fighting each other or they ganged up on on somebody because one was getting picked on. But yeah, it's so sometimes like I'm kind of like happy, like oh well, the girls are cute, they're loving, they're sassy, but at least they're not out trying to drop kick a kid.
Hey man, that's awesome. You're gonna be able to like experience like Legos and like or just like guy stuff with the boy.
Well, you know what? My daughters love Legos.
Well, not just
But,
that's a rough example, but I mean
mhm.
like I maybe even I don't even know you ever talked about your little girls when they were young, but like were they into guy stuff or girl stuff? Like were they
No,
really
they're into girl
girly?
stuff. They're
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 really
way
girly.
girly.
Okay.
They're way girly. They don't have not one athletic bone in their body. They don't. They have no sense of direction. They have no sense of balance. They have
Well,
no sense of athleticism. I mean, I'll give. They hate losing, but they do not give that 110% effort to into winning either. They just expect me. Like, have you seen like those like memes or gifs on social media? It's like when my kids think they could beat me at Mario Kart, and then all of a sudden like the dad's
well,
just completely smashing on them.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's like that. And they're like, Dad, you're cheating. I was like, I did not. Like, there's no cheating whatsoever. You guys just suck. You guys need to get better. And they go off running and tell them,
yeah,
their mom, like, Dad's cheating. Tell him to stop cheating.
yeah. I could see that. No, yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. But I mean, you get to be able to, yeah, like if your son could be good at any sport, what sport would you wish he was good at?
I really don't know because
What would you be most proud? He was like happy with
most
soccer,
proud. Well, see that
baseball,
there's two different kinds of proud, like financially proud
just
or
proud that he's into it.
see that's hard because like for me like I'm a huge soccer fan. But like my wife's side of the family, they're huge baseball fans.
Mm,
So
Dodgers?
yeah, Dodgers.
Damn.
They love Dodgers, but but that's a whole controversy in and of itself when I watch them play or watch them watch baseball. For example, like speaking of like being proud, like I'd love for him to play soccer, but then you think to yourself, well, geez, like baseball players make a ton of money for doing a whole lot less.
Yes. Oh
Like
yeah.
I see, Manny Machado's bitch ass was got like, geez, how much? Like 30 million for like a 10-year contract. I
Hmm.
was like, damn, like, and it's not, and you know what? And when I watch baseball, and I do like baseball, and sometimes they look like they're chilling,
Right.
sitting in the dugout eating sunflower seeds, and
And
then
my manager's son is in the fucking MLB,
oh
and
yeah,
he talks about how just chill it is. He just meets women and has sex with them. Does he just does like the coolest. He just does like
the
he's a
pro
rock
athlete,
star. He's
the
a
pro
rock
athlete
star. He's
stuff,
living
yeah,
the rock star life. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Drinking women.
yeah, and seeing like so and then for like example I'm trying to remember how many games there are in a baseball season, but I mean either way, it's not super terrible. It's not like in soccer where you're almost running for 90 minutes. So like
Soccer is very. You played soccer in high school, didn't you?
no, I didn't play soccer.
Mm,
I after playing football freshman year, I realized that there's no way I'm playing like any other sport in school again. It sucks. 'Cause, being punished for and by making you run laps, like it takes it out of you. And not only that, but like, I was like really big into skating. But for example, like in soccer, like if I broke it down, so if you're playing club at a professional level, at the highest level, you have your league, you have your cup, and you have your continental championship, and that's not including what you might play for your national team. So, for example, like your league, that'll be 38 games, and like, we're talking about literally from like here in the States, like beginning of September, like school year, and then
right.
ending at towards the beginning of June. So between that and the end, you have to play 38 league games, which is almost like every weekend. And then you play your cup, which is more towards like halfway during the season, which if you make it all the way to the finals, that's like another 9 games. And then if you play at the Continental and you play all the way to the end, that's anywhere. I like if off the top of my head, I think that's like 15 extra games, 15 or 17 extra games. And then if you add an international duty, if it's a World Cup season, you're gonna have to play like another extra 9 games. And then if you go to the World Cup, once again, if you make it all the way to the end, that's like another 13 games. We're talking about like 80 something games in a
All
matter
running,
of 52 weeks.
just running,
Yeah.
nonstop running.
Yeah. And
That's what I
and
remember about soccer.
you know what? And it's not even so much the physical aspect. The once your mind goes, that's when the whole game goes. Because you're exhausted and you don't you can't think of the past, you can't see the past, you can't see the shot, you can't like once your mind is gone, like it's done. Like you're toast. So you got to think like, geez, like 80. Let's just say for shits and giggles, like rounded to like 80 games in 52 weeks out of the year. Like most most of that time, you're gonna be playing 2 games a week. You know, and yeah, that. So I think to myself, well, geez, if my kid ever makes it to the professional level, I'd rather him just play baseball.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean, you got to consider someone who puts himself through that range or that extreme. That's a job. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a huge job. That becomes if they can withstand that, then obviously they're doing something right in their lives because that's got to be exhausting.
Oh yeah.
I tried going out for in high school, and I tried out. and I didn't. It did not work out for me. Do you remember they call this guy? Remember they call this one guy Jiggly?
No, for soccer tryout?
Yeah, it was a big dude. He was cool. He was our age, maybe a year older than us. But they used to call him Jiggly. I don't know if you remember him.
No, I
Dizzy
don't
remembers
remember.
him because Dizzy was trying out with us. But they called me Jiggly too.
Yeah, no, and see, it's different because from what I understand, a lot of those like coaches that at a high school level, they also coach like club. So the kids that are in their club, they're gonna play. So they have all that practice, you know? And
Right,
all the kids that aren't on their club, they're gonna like bench them and
right. No, yeah.
occasionally play them.
I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I did it. I went for it,
Hey, that's good for you. And you did tennis.
and I did tennis. Yeah, yeah. 3 years, 2 years.
And see, in tennis under the most fun because you guys seem to have gotten the most trouble doing it.
It was surprising to see like there were a lot of people who were just naturals at it. It was really surprising to see. Like when it comes to like especially when you see someone serve a ball,
Hmm.
like in the beginning of a tennis match,
Yeah.
like if you watch like on TV and stuff, you could see how there's a difference between like how certain people do it and then how like the amateurs do it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like old people, like if they're seeing playing on a court, but you could see that in people where like if they served a certain way,
Hmm.
fuck, they're fucking good. Like we're
Yeah.
ready to watch them. And
Yeah.
they
No.
would just basically put that against like we would play against other teams and got to a point where we got better at it. Like even me, like I started getting really good at it. I mean, like more
Yeah.
than I ever thought I would, but even though I wasn't that great, I wasn't like the greatest, but I actually got good at it. We all did. We all practiced every day and we got really good at it.
And you know what? And tennis is a hard sport. Like people don't understand how much conditioning you have to do, like running back and forth. And it's not like a run either. It's like a full sprint. Like what are those called? They do that in basketball too, like toe touches or whatever, where you
Mm-hmm.
dart to one line, then dart to the other, back and forth. And I mean that's basically tennis.
Right. And it was rough too because like I haven't like the conditioning mainly like in the practice, but it got to a point where it was actually like it made sense. Like there was this one guy one time. He was a guy. He was a coworker of mine at the time at Taco Bell, and he was really into tennis. And he was telling me like, his coach would like make him do push-ups like crazy. Like if they did something stupid, like
Yeah.
hey, give me 10 push-ups. And I'm like, fuck, bro, like that's hardcore, like military tennis. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Like if you got in a fit and threw your racket,
Hmm.
10 push-ups like instantly. Like that was like the mandatory or like the minimum amount of push-ups you had to do. It was crazy. Anyways, going off subject with you. Congratulations on your family. Congratulations. And what's the age gap now with your youngest and your middle?
Oh, almost 8.5 years.
Damn.
I know.
Okay.
It's wild. Like
Damn.
I feel like I was thinking, I was like, damn, at some point when he's old enough to go to school, like all three of my kids are gonna be I'm gonna have to be dropping them off at three different schools because one's gonna be in high school, one's gonna be in junior high, and one's gonna be in elementary.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be for very long. I think like after a couple years, like both
Right,
my
right, right, right.
boys will be in like high school. But either way, I mean, like where we live, like we're at what's it called? Lakeside, and Lakeside is basically only like two schools in the whole district. So the one down the street right next to Silver Creek, and then the one way the fuck out there, geez, like damn near where I don't know if you remember, but way out there where like all like the milk processing plants are way out there, like
What school
past
is that? The
Lakeside.
elementary school?
Lakeside. It's
The
it's a middle school.
middle school. Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
I
way
don't.
out there. It's way out there in like
Olivier?
Lakeside.
Oh, it's called Lakeside. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
No,
So
I don't know anything about that. That must be new.
no, it's been there for a long time. The problem is that it's way out there. It's I mean it's literally out in the middle of like pistachio fields or like
South of Bakersfield?
yeah, like southwest, way
Really?
southwest. It seriously takes from like from Silver Creek over there, it takes like 15-20 minutes.
I can't imagine where that's at. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's like if if you've ever been out to like the almond orchards and shit, it looks like it's like somebody just decided to put one right in the middle of nowhere. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
it could be a scary movie.
When I first went to, 'cause I used to go to school out there, elementary school, and I went to Olivier. Remember Olivier? You know where Olivier is at?
The name sounds familiar.
It's right off of Union and like Berkshire. Maybe I'm wrong. It's basically like down there. It's like by that Walmart that's like where the In and Out's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Okay.
out there, but like more east. And it used to be when Olivier, when we went to when I went to junior high there in seventh grade, it was like that. It was just a fucking junior high in the middle of a fucking field. And like you couldn't ditch, you couldn't do shit, or else they'd fucking see you. Like you couldn't do nothing. But
I
now, and as like the years have gone, they've built houses right there. So it's a bunch of
I think I know which
houses.
house. I think I know which school you're talking about.
Right. So, but now there's like a neighborhood there, like a whole
Hmm.
neighborhood. But yeah, and then my eighth grade year, I went to Thompson, and then I went to West High. So yeah, I went to Thompson because I wanted to meet people before I went to West High.
I thought it was because but have you always lived where did you always live in that house out there behind Stein School?
No, I moved there when I was 10. I was in fifth grade. So, but when my mom worked at McKee, which is out there,
Oh, okay.
and she would drive us out there. But eventually it got to a point where I wanted to meet people that I can go to high school with because everyone at Olivier was not going to West High, and I was going to West High.
Yeah.
So, and one of the people that I knew from elementary school up until junior high, that junior high was Brock Morrow. And he moved and he wrote my mom a letter saying, please, he was the reason why, it was like in concrete that I got to move to Thompson. Is Brock
Mm.
wrote my mom a letter, like, please, he's the only one I know. I need someone to go. Mom was like, all right, because I was begging her too. And so we both went to Thompson and we hung out. We were like the only people we knew at Thompson. And we ended up moving or going to that school like the same week. And so everyone thought we're brothers. And I'm like, how the fuck could I be his brother? I'm a fat Mexican. This fool's a fucking skinny white dude. And everyone was like, affiliate him with me or me with him. Like, where's Brock at or where's Joey at? And then in high school, we kind of like, we separate, we went off on our own ways, but we still hung out with some of the same people.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Me and Brock Morrow for many years.
Dang. Have you talked to him?
No, man, I'm trying to do one of these with him. I've been reaching out to like accounts. I think they're fake accounts I don't know. You never know because I've been like he always changes his number, but I see him like pop up on like social media stuff, and I'll add him and I'll try to like DM him like, hey, bro, it's me. But I haven't heard anything yet. But
Yeah.
he'd be down to do one of these. He's a fucking crazy dude.
Yeah. What's funny is that me and him used to TA the same class, and I was there the day he got expelled because he came in like running and sweating. He's like, dude, if somebody comes in here asking for me, tell him you haven't seen me, all right? And then he fucking darted through like the center, like like the center pod of all the classes, and I shit you not, maybe like 2-3 minutes later, uh, one of the like security came in and hey, have you seen Brock Morrow? And like we had a substitute that day, luckily for him, and she said, do we have a Brock Morrow here? I was like, I don't know. I don't know who Brock. I mean, I know of him, but I haven't seen him. Oh, okay. And they left, and then like I found out like a day or two later that they did catch him when he got expelled. I don't know what
Damn.
he did, but I know he had told me he's like, if I get in trouble one more time, I'm getting expelled. And sure enough, the next day he comes in all panting. Oh, dude, if they ask for me, tell them you haven't seen me.
Yeah. That guy's he was always into some shit. Always into some shit. I remember
Yeah.
Friday nights we'd go out and I think we're in high school already. Yeah, we were in high school already. We went out. We would go out to the movies all the time.
Hmm.
Freshman year, maybe sophomore year, we'd go out and walk from my he come to my house because we lived near each other.
Yeah.
By Stein, he lived in you know where he lived, right?
I mean, I know where you lived. I don't know where he lived.
Oh, he lived right near. You know where Cup Dog lived?
Yeah.
He lived like in that neighborhood, but like more towards like where Home Depot is. You know where
Okay.
Donald Glenn lived? Okay. Anyways, he lived
I'm
right next.
sure. I'm
Him and
sure.
Donald Glenn live really close to each other. So like they would always go. Anyways, but my point is
I think didn't Glenn Donald live like a street after that fire station?
that's where Brock lived. Right. They
Okay, yeah.
both lived the same area. And it was just like, yeah, it was like more towards the fire station,
Hmm.
but in
Yeah,
Cup Dog and that Cup Dog side.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And but so I would go to his house, he'd come to my house. And I remember one time he was spending that at my house, and we walked up to a Stein school. We walked all the way down to the Valley Plaza. We went
Hmm.
all the way like the backside, like Kmart and shit.
Yeah.
And we're walking back one night, and like there's that empty field next to Kmart,
Hmm.
and we were walking, and some fucking guys that he fucking got into it with at school had paintball guns, and they were fucking or pellet guns or some shit, and they were fucking shooting them at us from um these apartments across the street, and they were just shooting them. And the reason we found out is they accidentally missed. They hit one of the like the "Don't Park" signs, and we
Hmm.
heard it loud. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, dude, but just fucking whatever. And we just kept going. But then we felt them go past us. We're like, dude, what the fuck? And then Brock pointed him out. We ran, dude. I don't even know. Remember that? Like there's like um a storage facility on the corner now.
Yeah. Where's
We
that? Where
we
that like
hopped the
red barn?
fence.
That red
We
barn is?
hopped the fence and we jumped. We were running through those fucking storage facilities, like, and we were like so fucking. It was just the craziest night ever because we were running these places like we couldn't run into. Like we're not supposed to be there. We're
Yeah.
running through the apartment complexes and shit, just trying to get away from these guys. It was crazy ass night. But I remember that, like trying to get home, and then they were like driving around. They could still. We're looking for them. We're nervous that they're gonna find us. It was like the craziest night. I remember thinking, like, what the fuck, dude? What'd you do? Like, I don't know, man. I just, we just got into it.
I don't know if it's a Brock thing as it is a you thing.
What?
The getting in it because that sounds a whole lot like that story with you, Chris, and Carlos, and all those calls I got from from you guys and Adam. Adam got a bunch of calls from you guys
Oh yeah. Well, we
for
talking
that
about
whole
the
trash incident.
he confirmed the trash. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what I'm talking about because, like I said, that story sounds a whole lot like that the trash story.
Why? Like I'm faking it up?
No, that something happened with well, you weren't involved with the Brock thing, but you just happened to be there. And the trash incident with Chris is like all of a sudden like you're being hunted down in a car.
Oh, but that was my fault. That
Yeah,
was I brought that on myself. I shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I got in a lot of trouble. I got in a lot of trouble for those bottles in front of my house. So that's why I was like pissed and I lashed
yeah. No, I
what was
don't.
on me onto someone else.
No, I don't. I don't blame you. I would have probably done the same.
I wasn't even drinking at the time. That's the crazy
Yeah,
part. That's the crazy part.
yeah. No, I've gotten in trouble for stupid shit that other people did. I'm like for some reason like because I was getting bad grades, like I was doing drugs. I was like, what? I never did drugs in high school. Like I was pretty straight edge kid in high school. It's not until like afterwards that like really started like typical college stuff.
Right.
Start drinking, start trying drugs and shit. And
I don't think I ever seen you do drugs. Never, never.
we smoked. We smoked before.
I spoke with you.
Yeah, in your room at in Cecil Brenner when you lived there.
I smoked you out.
Yeah, because your dad joined us.
Did he?
Yeah,
That sounds real. Yeah.
yeah. Because you were showing me your Resident Evil collection.
Dude, don't remind me, bro. Those motherfuckers go for 600. I sold it for 80
Jesus Christ.
when I first came to San Diego. I'm trying to buy one. I'm trying to buy one. Like,
Yeah, good
oh
luck.
shit, bro. Yeah, there's no way. My free meeting will end in 10 minutes. So when this ends,
Hmm.
we just sign out and get back in, okay?
Okay,
No, because I don't pay anymore. So I used to pay monthly.
I got you.
Not no more.
Mm. But yeah, no, like, and it's funny because there's a ton of people that have never even they know of that controller, but they've never actually seen one in person. And I remember when you showed me, I was all like, "What? What is this?"
I fucked up, man. I fucked up. Do you play video games anymore at all?
Yeah, coincidentally, like today I bought a PS5 finally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, finally found
Nice.
one. Finally found them in the wild. Like I
You
almost had
physically
like
found one.
yeah, at Target.
No.
Yeah, like I had a panic attack. I saw. I was like,
That's amazing. Fuck yeah, dude.
yeah. Right now, I'm downloading the PS5 version of Gran Turismo. So
Oh, I need to get that.
yeah, it's a ton
I
of
need to get
fun.
that. Yeah, dude, I love
Um,
PS5. I've been trying to play games, but it's hard with this kid. I've been playing Resident Evil 4, the remake.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a fun game.
it, it's funny because I see Sam when he's online, I see that he's playing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's dope.
him him and Chris are huge Resident Evil fans.
Right. I need to get with Sam about that because I forgot about that. But yeah, I didn't know he's playing 4. And I need to find out his name. I can
Yeah,
talk to him on there.
he was he was playing the remake, and he was also playing the last one. The
Oh, Village.
yeah, I saw
That
him play
one's fun.
Village,
Yeah,
and then I saw him play the one with like the crazy like hillbilly
oh, 7.
family. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's
Yeah.
scary. I've yet to beat that one. That one's scary. Really scary.
You know, you know what's actually a really good game? It really creeped me out. I'm not like big into like horror, but like the game that was really good and creeped me out was the game called Control.
I've heard of it.
It's really good, dude. It is so good. I wish I would have finished it. The problem is that the game is so graphic intense that whenever you die, like on the PS4 version or any of these past generation, um it literally takes like 2 to 3 minutes to reload your game. If you die, so like if you get to a room that you just can't get past and you're constantly dying, dude, like seriously, you'll in an hour you'll you'll be sitting there for like 45 minutes of it as a load screen.
Why?
It's like I said, it's too graphic intense. Like it is a beautiful game.
What'd you play it on?
I played it on PS4.
And it loads that long?
It takes forever to load when you die. It's
My
seriously,
kid's
I'm not
going
even
crazy. Do you
joking.
hear him?
Huh?
My kid's going crazy. Do you hear him?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, okay. I can hear him. That's why I'm like worried, like it's messing up the audio.
Oh no, mine was crying right now in the hallway.
That's what I was wondering. If it was that one before, was it mine or yours? But yeah, maybe it was yours. But this one, I'm surprised you can't hear it. This kid's throwing a fucking fit.
Oh, a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, just whenever we're done, look up Control, and I
I
should
think I have that game.
it's
I downloaded it for free, or maybe I bought it like on discount.
yeah,
I need to check.
it's a chick with red hair,
Right. And I play that game. I mean, I haven't beaten it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
and like there's floating bodies and they're doing chants and shit.
You're like in an office in the beginning, like an office building.
Yeah, yeah, it's a huge office building,
Right.
and then like
I
there's
played the beginning of that.
yeah, well, when you get to like the bigger areas or even the smaller ones, there's like floating bodies in the air, like
Okay. So
chanting and
what's the
shit.
plot?
The plot
Like,
is
interest me into playing this game. Like
I'm trying to remember it because it's been I got it during COVID because sometimes I had nothing better to do.
right.
And I happened to come across a review for it and it was like stellar. It was a stellar review. And I was like, "Oh, this game looks pretty interesting." Right? So I saw that it was on sale. I downloaded it and I played it. And the premise is that this girl got a job at like basically like a FBI type agency, and it's her first day. She shows up at this huge building, and there's like nobody there, like absolutely nobody there. And She goes into the elevator. She goes into like the main hallway where like the president's supposed to be. She walks in and finds that he's like dead. Don't know if he committed suicide. Don't know if somebody killed him, but she sees like some kind of weird gun on his table, and it's kind of alive. And during these all these cutscenes, she's talking to herself, and like it seems like she's talking to herself in what would it be, like the third person, and you think she's like inner dialogue, but in reality you find out later that she actually has like another being in her. It's a crazy story. This is from what I think I can remember, but yeah, it's you come to find out that the building that you're in is kind of alive. So it's kind of like have you ever heard of like Metroidvania type games?
Right.
It's
Yes.
it's a it's literally like a third person shooter Metroidvania where you could go into an area and be blocked off. You have to go find a way around it and unlock it, come back around. And sometimes, and this is the cool thing about it, you can go into rooms that you're not supposed to be going into because the enemies in there are crazy hard. And that's part of the reason that I had kind of had to give up on the game because I'd go into rooms that is like way beyond the level where I was at for my character. I'd get wrecked. Like literally, like I'd sit there, wait 3 minutes for the game to load just to get wrecked in like 10, 15 seconds.
Why is the loading time that much? Just because the PS4?
Yeah,
It's a part of the
I
gimmick of the
think I
game.
think I think it was a PC game.
Oh, so it's literally a hardware problem. I thought it was like that was like a thing to like keep you enticed in the game. Like it was like a game feature. That's why I was like,
Mm-mm.
what? Gotcha,
No,
gotcha, gotcha.
no, God, no. It's
Sometimes it was just because like it was just such it was loading so much. Gotcha, gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
no, literally, like if you if and then like you have mind power, so you could literally pick up anything in the game. Like you could rip concrete from the floor and fling it at enemies. So you got to think that the 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 hardware is trying to keep up with like shit you're ripping off the wall. Fucking file cabinets. Like if you pick up a file cabinet and throw it, literally papers would be like floating through the air, like like that. I mean, it was such a crazy good game graphically and gameplay wise. Problem is that it just took forever to load. Now that I have a PS5, one of my coworkers told me that it literally takes like 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds to
Okay.
load.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I have a PS5 as well, but I mainly focus with I play with the Xbox Series X.
Hmm.
And there's no loading. There's no loading anymore.
Yeah,
It's rare, but there's literally no like one of the games I was playing. You ever play Fallout 3?
I know of it.
Okay, so that game was like on PS3 or PS or
Hmm.
Xbox, 360. Like you'd go, just like you're saying, you'd go to a door, you open it, at least a minute for it to open, at least a minute. Sometimes it would take longer. Sometimes it would just freeze and forever, and you got to restart your game. But like now, playing it on Series X, I'm playing as soon as I would play Fallout 3 on Series X, and that's what would happen. It would just be like open a door, boom, open, closed, or the boom, you're on the other side. Like it was like that, like fucking like you're playing like Zelda, like boom, doop, doop, you're there. I was like, holy shit. 10, 13 years ago when this game came out, if this was but that's what PC players are experiencing this whole time. Like,
Hmm.
like that's the way you need to play this game. That would not break you out of it. Like you're saying that all that pause and suspense is taking you out of the game. But realistically, that's not how it's meant to be played.
Yeah, like when I'd get into rooms where there'd be a ton of enemies, like the pixels would be breaking in the middle of the game. Like everything would look all distorted and fucked. It was wild, but
Well,
I could finally play it. I'm happy. You hear me?
I can hear you. We're doing
Okay,
it.
we're back. Late night podcast with Joey and Mario. For any requests, call 281 330 8004.
You heard him. You heard him.
Call Mike Jones down on the low.
And then people calling in being like,
Say, hey, I want to talk to Mike Jones.
or what was the Daniel line?
Daniel?
Daniel would always call and like just do the same old. Daniel would always prank call you all.
I don't remember. Oh,
Anyways,
yeah.
since I mean, I don't know if you remember the last podcast we did. Well, the first podcast we did, we talked about making a movie. We threw the idea out, make a movie podcast. We talk about our favorite movies and we focus on a movie every single episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did a whole meeting that I recorded and I put that out. Did you hear
Mhm.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
We get into like
I think I only heard
Tarantino.
the one. I don't know if I heard the one where you did the like the you did like the green screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear that one. In
I might
that
have
one, we
not. I can't
go
remember.
into movies a little bit more.
Hmm.
And so I'm here to ask you, I have questions for you about movies. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Ready?
Okay.
That I've been meaning to ask you. So, what is your favorite comedy movie?
Favorite comedy? That's easy. That's Dumb and Dumber.
Favorite comedy movie of all time? Is that another movie? Same movie.
I'm trying to think of like another like comedic movie.
Like Dumb and Dumber, yes, I can understand that. But is there another, like a second contender, something that you can hold to it that you can think
No,
off the top of your head? No?
not off the top of my head. Obviously, like there's funny movies that I really like, but that like hold a candle to Dumb and Dumber. That's hard. Like and you know what? And coincidentally, like I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was thinking like, you know what would have been like a hilarious movie, and I wish they would do it. Would the other guys? The other guys is a hilarious movie.
I like it.
But what I wish that they would do is if they did a whole movie based on Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson's characters.
Yeah, right. That
Can
was
you
like a
imagine? Like,
short-lived thing.
yeah,
That's
because
what we all thought it was gonna be. That was a whole gimmick. It was like this is
yeah,
like the whole movie. These guys against these guys, and then those guys died real quick.
yeah, and like the first that first sequence in the movie, like it was nuts. Like I remember laughing so hard when the was it a Camaro? The Camaro one goes through the bus, and you think like, oh, they're done, and next thing you know, you see the bus ramming through traffic with the Camaro stuck like through the
Yeah,
middle of it.
right.
And
Yeah, that
then
movie's dope.
yeah, and then he whips it around, and the Camaro shoots out of it, and Samuel L. Jackson is shooting at the bad guys.
I would have liked that movie before all the Rock phenomenon. I feel like Rock is in everything now.
Yeah.
I'm a little annoyed with that. Anyways, go back to it. So that's your favorite. You like the other guys. You named out other guys, and you named out. So you're
Not
saying
yet. Like I mean,
Dumb and
like
Dumber other guys? Is that why you're bringing that up?
not off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. What I mean, as far as like really like making me laugh, uh, I mean, Kingpin is really good, and it's funny because it's another Farley Brothers movie. Kingpin is hilarious.
Yep.
Um, Another movie that's like super hilarious that isn't intended to be hilarious is The Wolf of Wall Street.
It's a funny movie.
It's
Really
a
funny movie.
it's hilarious. It's funny how like Scorsese makes serious movies and just there's funny shit in them, you know?
Right.
Like I remember like in Goodfellas, like even something as small as like, you know, when Pesci and one of his henchmen are like out in front of his jewelry store and they're all talking, you know, and they're all covering their mouth. And I think there's probably just an extra walking in the background and you hear just Joe Pesci, who the fuck is this guy? The fuck does he want? What does he want? Keep walking, bitch. Keep walking, you know? It's like something small like that. it's hilarious.
Oh, oh yeah, definitely.
And then what 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 other funny movies? Like again, far like the Farley brothers, like Me, Myself, and Irene is hilarious.
So
Something about Mary.
you're going to Fairley Brothers. You're talking about Fairley Brothers greatest movies because I know you um like the 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's one of your favorites too. And
Oh yeah,
I like to
yeah,
think of one of the movies. I don't know if it's one of my greatest, but it's one of the most I've seen the most. Step Brothers. I've seen that movie so many times.
yeah.
Like on
And you know,
TV
and like
plays.
thinking of it, like no movie like holds a candle to Dumb and Dumber to me, but two movies that are like neck and neck for me to each other for like second place are The 40-Year-Old Virgin or Old School.
Old School. Okay, you brought that one into the mix. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a Who's
I
the guy
love
who did
Old
that?
School.
The guy who did Joker. What's his name?
The director?
Yeah,
What about him?
what's his name?
I don't
Uh,
I can't think of it.
the same director of Joker was the director of Old School.
Really?
Yeah, so he did Road Trip, Old School, um, Starsky and Hutch, and then he did
Starsky and Hutch is hilarious
the Road
too.
Trip trilogy, and that's what got him like super big. And I think that's how he because Scorsese was supposed to do Joker with DiCaprio as Joker. That fell through, and
That
then
would have been weird.
Old Boy got it, and he picked what's his face, Joaquin Phoenix. Can't think of his
Yeah.
name, dude. He plays the guy, the sex guy in every movie. In Old School, he licks that girl's toe on the bus. On Old School, he's the guy. I'm here for the orgy, and then on
Oh yeah.
that's him.
Yeah, this guy with the porn
He's in
mustache.
every movie. Yeah.
Yeah. He was
Um, what was the other
what
movie? He was something
yeah,
else.
where the girl was giving them a blowjob in the elevator and then they walk in
Right.
and he's like and he's all like,
That's
you
Road
know,
Trip. Or no,
yeah.
that's
Isn't
Hangover.
that
It's
the
Hangover.
hangover?
Yep.
Yeah. And then she like tries touching him, he's get the fuck off
Yeah.
me.
Todd Phillips. That's his name. Fuck.
Yeah.
Todd Phillips. Anyways, Todd Phillips. He went from like old school, but Road Trip is what I. That's his first movie, and Road Trip was like crazy funny to me. Like it was good, but he used like he took like Sean William Scott and put him in like be Stifler in my movie and like bring
Mm.
but nothing he's everything he's touched has turned these people into something like Old School. I would like to argue, if I could, that Old School was what got Vince Vaughn big and Will Ferrell big.
You think so? I think
What do you think?
Vince
Vince
Vaughn was
Vaughn was small
actually
time up until that point.
well, what was there was a what movie was that?
Will Ferrell's first starring role movie was Elf, but that same year was Old School. So maybe Elf. But for Vince Vaughn was in so many. He was in Jurassic Park 2. He was in all these fucking bullshit movies, and no
Well,
one
no,
gave him
what was
credit.
that movie? What was that movie? Was it where they all go to Vegas? It was like a old like it was like a late
Oh
90s movie.
yeah, Slack or yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was the first movie, but that was like no one watched that movie. Did people know who Vince Vaughn was from that movie? Vince
I
Vaughn
mean,
was in so many other things after that.
I remember him.
And no one fucking knew who he was until Old School, and that's when he did like he was Fred Claus. He was fucking. They wrote roles for him, like
Fred Claus.
Starsky and Hutch. Like he was like they wrote roles for Vince Vaughn, but Vince Vaughn was just like the side guy in all the
Mm-hmm.
movies. Anyways, my point is Todd Phillips
Wedding
he
Crashers.
makes like look at fucking uh what's the one they go to Vegas and they forget the guy.
The Hangover.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. You can argue Bradley. That's where Cooper's career started. That's where Zach Galifianakis' career started. That movie.
Well, yeah, I mean on a movie basis, yeah, but
No one knew who Bradley Cooper was up until that point.
Me and Jose knew who Zach Galifianakis was because we saw his Comedy Central special.
We all did. We all did. We saw what's that? Out Cold. Remember Out Cold?
Cold.
The one where he sticks his dick in a jacuzzi. You remember that movie? It was an old movie. Anyways, it was around that time when he like was like comedian, like coming up as a comedian.
That's funny because a lot of people a lot of people forget that Jack Black was in that movie Airborne.
Never seen that movie.
Yeah, he was like real young, and that's funny. Like you look back, he looks different.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to sound mean, but like back when he did that movie, when if you see him, like look at him, he back then he looked like he had Down syndrome. I know it sounds fucked up, but he did. I'm trying to think.
Oh my god.
Like look it up. Like one time, like look it up, like Airborne with Jack Black,
How
and you'll
old is
look
he?
at him
Is
and
he
you're
a
like,
kid in that movie? That's sad if he's a kid.
not a kid. He's probably so like usually back in the '90s kind of movies, like the kids, like high school kids, were actually like fucking middle aged. He was probably like in his mid 20s.
Holy shit. That's fucked up. But yeah, I'll watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Like it's gonna bug me.
But Todd Phillips,
Yeah.
he's been known to make box office gold out of nothing. Like he's been proven time and time again. Hangover, Old School. Um, he just is Joker. Like no one, but I bet you no one would have bet on Joker. I mean, maybe some people, but the way it came out, it was a completely different, movie.
Yeah. Here, let me kind of have a picture. Hopefully you can see it.
He looks like Sean William Scott in fucking Road Trip. I see him. I'll just put one up for the video so they can see it. But yeah. So going
I'm gonna get an angry message from him or
so
from his lawyer for
so step
slander.
so Step Brothers. That's one of my favorite movies, I would say. But getting into like what about dramatic movies? Like, what do you have a situation with crying? Like, how do you feel about crying? Like, what is like a movie that's made you cry? Have you ever had a movie that made you cry? Are
I
you a crier?
remember
Are you not?
I had a really hard time like holding in like I was like fuck I better not cry. It was like summer school like when we were gonna be like either sophomores or juniors. Again, it was like the last week of like summer school and all they were doing was putting movies on and I think like at the beginning of that last week fucking who was our teacher? I forgot, but she put on eight no, The Green Mile. That one was tough.
Hold up. Okay, I'm partly following. First off, was that the first time you seen the movie? Like you never
Yeah.
seen the movie before?
Mm-mm.
Got it. So
Yeah.
you watch this movie for the first time, and it's like what? Like it's your real teacher or is it sub?
Yeah, it was our summer school
And
teacher.
what was a summer school teacher? Okay, got you. And she was
Yeah.
just like, I'm putting this on for
For,
watching it.
just to shut us the hell up.
And like, what happened? You started to
I
like
remember
get emotional.
well, because it's a good movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was really sad when you found out that he didn't kill those little girls
Right.
and the way they treated him and then throwing him in jail and then the when old fucking pedophile dude in real life didn't put the water in the sponge and that dude
Right.
fucking burned to a crisp. But that wasn't the sad part. The really sad part was when he it was finally his turn to die and they were all like fuck like dude, this dude is like sent from heaven like we can't do this, but they're like, well, we have to. It's our job. Like we got families, and it was super sad. That was tough holding that in, and you're like, fuck, like fucking high school,
What happened?
like I was just kind of like, oh
You're
yeah,
like,
no, yeah, I'm gonna take a nap,
oh,
and that's like, yeah, I was
wait,
pretending.
but was it like just like simple, or was it like like you
No, like
could like it was like,
I could feel my eyes like drying up,
or was it
and
like one of those like when you're a kid, not one of those.
no, I mean I sucked it up. I didn't cry,
Okay,
but I
I thought it was
felt like I was like,
like unbearable, like you couldn't
yeah, I was
stop.
all like, if it would have gone on for another 5 seconds, I probably wouldn't have held it in.
Right. Okay. So that's simple, but no, but that's your favorite dramatic movie that you can think of when it comes to like emotional.
Well, I mean, see, when I think of
It's fair. I'm just asking, like, because that's a really good answer.
yeah,
Because
no, like as far, so like, are we talking about drama or
well,
sad?
I just want to know like a movie that like that you can remember crying to, because there's a lot of movies I've cried to that are dumb, but
Crying.
but that was one that you brought yours. I remember I cried to
Um, I don't
Eternal
remember.
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That movie teared me up.
I don't remember the last time I cried for it. I was probably little.
Do you ever see Eternal Sunshine?
That's the one with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I saw it once.
You're like, nah, I
Yeah,
cried. You're like, nah, I don't like it.
because it was like it came out 2000, 2001,
2004.
2004. I
Yeah.
remember it being during like the whole high school phase, but
Right. It's a good movie. That movie
I
was
remember I
fucking.
just watched
You
so
ever seen
many
it?
goddamn movies that I can't remember. I mean, especially the ones I only watched once. Like what's another movie like that people talk that was great? And I saw it once and I can't remember like the one with Bill Murray where they're like underwater.
Oh, that's a good one. Life Aquatic.
Yeah. And honestly, like the only thing I could remember is like once again it's like a terrible thing, but I thought to myself, huh, that's a weird way of describing somebody is when Bill Murray calls that girl a bull dyke.
That's all you remember.
Yeah, because I was all like, huh, that's a strange way to.
So like you just can't focus when you watch that movie. What do you mean? Like you've tried watching it many times or just one
No,
time?
no, no, no. Like I said, I'll watch a movie once and then like it sits in the back of my head and I mean, think about it.
That movie's really good. I've seen the movie like 20 times, three
It's been
times.
like well, yeah, because, I mean, didn't you dress up as or was no, it was Adam and Silva that
Yeah,
dressed
it
up
was
as
Adam,
them
not me.
for Halloween.
Fuck.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I said, there's a bunch of movies that I've seen and seen once and I can't remember them. Like I said, I've seen the movie, but you got to think it's been like 20 plus years.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that we all pick and choose once you get to a certain age, I guess, because that's Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. That's a movie I watch. If ever I see it on TV, I just jump on it. It's a
Yeah,
good fucking, I would
like
say like Owen Wilson in that movie. That's an Owen Wilson movie. Like Owen Wilson's in so many movies,
mhm.
but Owen Wilson in that movie should have won something. Like he was like the top of his acting game in that movie.
Yeah, like another example, like another. I remember it being good, but I can't remember anything. Like was it the Royal Tenenbaums?
Same guy. Yeah. The Royal
Yeah,
Tenenbaums.
I
Same guy
remember.
who did Steve Zissou.
I remember it being like good, kind of long, wasn't it?
It's a regular amount of time.
Really? 'Cause I could have sworn like
Dude, that's where it started, or that's where like all
because,
those
and I remember there
people
being like a
started.
bunch of stars in that movie.
Everyone in that movie is in fucking Life Aquatic.
And there's yeah, and like I said, I know I've seen it, but I can't remember not a fucking thing. Like except I want to say Gwyneth Paltrow's in it, which I
Right.
always thought was weird.
No, it's a really good movie, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that's crazy that you just like put that in the back, but that's a really good movie that I've watched many times since it came out.
Like
Yeah, Wes Anderson, he's really good. He did he did the one with the fuck, I can't remember the names of them now. Um, He did one about the train with Owen Wilson and his two brothers, and one of them is Adrian Brody and some other cat. They're all brothers on a train.
Mm.
It's the same movie. It's like shot it's the same way as Life Aquatic. It's like fantasy, but not really. It's really weird how
Yeah,
describe that world, but it's a really
they're
was
definitely
interesting.
movies of their time.
Yeah, and it's something that really good, really good, really good film, really good like screen. What do you call it? Cinematography. That's really good. But so what is your camping movies? Because I watch those movies. Is there like a group of movies that I may not watch that you kind of have a pocket in? Because that's interesting to me that you don't know Wes Anderson movies.
I don't think. Oh
Do you
no,
know all Scorsese movies?
I tend to know a lot of the Scorsese movies, definitely like you know how you said that. Oh, if Life Aquatic is on, I'll watch it. Like the Goodfellas is one for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Casino. Like if either one of those two movies is on, guess what we're watching for the next
Right.
5 hours.
Right. Right. That's how I'm with Life Aquatic. Like or Royal Tenenbaums and there's Rushmore was the first one. Heard of
Yeah.
Rushmore? That's the first movie he
Yeah,
did.
see, Rushmore. The Rushmore is another movie I've saw maybe like 2 or 3 times. I remember thinking like it is hilarious,
Yeah.
and
That's the
but
movie. That's what started it.
yeah, and that's the one with the kid they're campaigning, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray's in like every one of his movies. He's in
Hmm.
that movie. Bill Murray's in Royal Tenenbaums. Bill Murray's the main character in Life Aquatic. Bill Murray's in that brother movie that I'm telling you about.
Yeah, and what's like there was a bunch of movies that would occasionally come on Comedy Central like during downtime in college, like between classes or like getting out of campus early, you know, go watch TV for a minute, take a nap, and then go off and party, do whatever you have to do. But yeah, that was how I mostly knew those movies because they would randomly show up on Comedy Central. Like like a perfect example is like I would have never known like I'm a big fan of Ocean's 11. I like Ocean's 11 and honestly, I would have probably never known about Ocean's 11 if I wouldn't have accidentally came across it on TBS one day flipping through the channels.
Oh,
Like I was just one day I was flipping through the channels and all of a sudden like the WB, I think it was the WB like logo comes on and like the jail cell door closes, ka-ching, and then you see like George Clooney sit down on the chair. I was like, what the fuck is this about? And then it seems like a serious movie at first, and then they ask him, "So what are you planning if you get out?" And then he looks off to the side and looks back at him, and then the funky like Elvis music comes on, and I was like, is this gonna be a funny movie or is this gonna be a dramatic movie? And to my surprise, it was funny movie with some dramatic and a heist movie. And I'll tell you one thing. You want to know one movie I was severely disappointed in?
which
Baby
one?
Driver.
Why?
Because and it's probably my own fault. It's I thought it was going to be an Ocean's 11 type movie in the sense that if you were, and this is what I always tell everybody, that I was like, have you seen Baby Driver? Did you like it? And I'll ask them, I was like, okay, so from the trailers, just the trailers, when you see all the trailers, what kind of movie do you think it is or it's going to be?
You're asking me. I don't know.
So, but you've seen it though, right?
I've seen it. I'm
Yeah.
like a it's a heist movie, like a
Yeah.
bank heist movie.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I saw it and I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be fucking like GTA 5 with dope cars because the first the first like sequences in like the trailer you see the Subaru WRX uh drifting through the streets and fucking the heist and everything like I went in there thinking I was like is gonna be like GTA meets Ocean's 11, you know? And coming to find out it's a stupid love story.
Oh, you didn't like the love part of it.
I didn't like none of it. Like from what I can remember, I could probably remember like three or four things. And the first one is obviously that first sequence with the Subaru that basically basically the whole trailer is about, right? That first sequence. And then kind of the second heist. Definitely the last heist and just the fact that he just uses anything and everything to make music for that girl that works at the diner. But yeah, other than that, like I remember walking out of the theater like I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was so pissed.
Did not approve of Baby Driver.
I not I hated it. And then I kind of find out that it's the same dude that fucking did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I was like, no fucking wonder I hated it.
Yeah, so you gotta look at that shit.
Yeah,
You got
well,
you gotta look at that shit before you go to see a movie. Like, have you seen this movie? It's called what the fuck is it called? It's this horror movie that came out this last Halloween. And I was like looking it up because the guy who did this movie is like nobody. Like he hasn't done anything. Everything he's done is like just like short movies and stuff. So I'm like, who is this guy? Kind of wondering what the fuck this movie's gonna be about.
mhm.
And I was so it's called Barbarian. Team Barbarian.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. It's
Oh,
there is
dude.
there's I didn't watch it. Like I said, I'm not like a huge like horror buff. Like if you want a horror buff, you talk to Adam. You get him a podcast and you can do like all the horror stuff. Like the only uh legit horror that I like is Alien, the
Really?
movie. That and it's funny because my wife's oldest sister and her daughter, they're huge horror people. They're it's I think there's a huge difference between horror and slasher movies. They're slasher, but they
Oh
say
yeah.
horror. But they've never seen Alien. And I keep telling them like, Alien is not considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, like
Right.
top 20. But they
Right.
refuse to watch it because they think it's gonna suck.
Right.
Even though Ridley Scott's a fucking genius.
Right.
But yeah, no, I heard it about Barbarian. Like my wife listens to a podcast and they laugh about it. It's some some
It's a different it's you can't describe the horror. It's it because it like you're saying it's like a thriller. It's not really horror, but it's like a thriller. It's
mhm,
more of like it's not even it's kind of like jump scares, but it's like real shit.
mhm.
And that's what's crazy. It's like it's not sci-fi, it's real shit.
Yeah, but there's some girl, right, with like she's looking for her babies.
You want to know the story?
Yeah, there's like she's baby,
You want to know the story?
baby. Like I
Do
heard
you
them
want to know the
talking
story?
about it. I
Do you
heard them
know? Yes or
talking.
no?
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay, okay. Basically, let me just give you the outline, the plot.
Mhm,
So it's uh this girl books an Airbnb in Detroit, Michigan,
mhm.
and
Sounds very familiar to a lot of horror movies,
right,
like Hostel.
and when she gets there, she ends up finding many surprises
Mhm,
in her night stay that just change her life, and it turns into a um crazy, crazy story about like the past and like I don't know, like, I don't want to get into it, but just like basically, and then it turns into this story where Justin Long, you know who Justin Long is, right?
yeah.
He plays an actor in the movie where he needs to uh he owns that house, the Airbnb, and he has to sell it. And he goes there to like figure everything out because he was using it as an Airbnb, and he finds the guests, that girl, her stuff there. He's like, who? Like he's calling like his people, like who's in charge of cleaning, like all her stuff's here. Like, what's going on? Where is she? And they're like, dude, like how unprofessional, you didn't get the cleaning guy here. It needs to clean out. He ends up getting in a situation that same girl gets in
Mm-hmm.
just for being in that house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This house just, and it's real. It's not, it's like something that can happen in real life. It's not like sci-fi horror. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically these people are stuck in a situation where this house is taking them
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. No. See, and that's. I guess that's kind of the horror or thrillers that I like. Like I love like Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. Like
Right. Like this is
that.
real
Yeah.
shit.
Like that's. I mean, when people talk about like, oh, like who's your favorite like monster? I was like, I mean, think about it. Hannibal Lecter. He might not be in the traditional sense of like like the
There was
Frankenstein's
someone that was like
monster or the
him.
vampire, but like he's a fucking psychopath.
Someone out there is like him.
Yeah,
I
like
bet you.
dude, like you like to this day, like I don't you probably can't see, but I get like goosebumps on my arms. Like I remember watching it when I was little and when he escapes that his cage from those two cops and all those cops go up the elevator and they find that fucking he had ripped that dude apart and he looks like a death angel. Like I was like,
The guy
oh
from
god.
Bakersfield,
Huh?
that actor who they ripped up as the judge,
Was it?
he's from Bakersfield in real life.
Really?
He lives in Bakersfield in real life.
Wow. I didn't know that,
He's
but
in every movie. He's in Cable Guy. He's like in all these fucking movies, just like as like a fucking side actor.
dang.
But yeah, no, Hannibal Lecter ate his face. I know that. I know exactly what
Oh,
you're
and
talking
then
about.
he cut off the dude's face and put it on his own. Yeah, and it's great. It's great pop culture because then The Office used it.
The Cable Guy used it.
Did he?
Remember Jim Carrey? Silence of the Lambs. Do you remember
No.
that?
And he also Dumb and Dumber. Remember?
Oh, you're right.
Like the Chianti far
Yes.
from beans.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, see that's and speaking of which, like a lot of people don't know. I don't know if you know, because like me and Adam, we're pretty big on into like Alien and Predator. Not both of them combined.
This is gonna end soon, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Okay.
Um, there's like huge like backstory to like Alien and like a huge like backstory to like the Predator. Like Adam didn't even know that like the Predators had names. Like not like you and me have names like Joe and Mario, but they have like kind of like race names.
Fuck does that mean?
Like I'm trying to remember
Like,
their like kind of like the alien in the movies, like their names are xenomorphs.
okay.
The
Oh,
the Predators have like that those kinds of names
oh, in their race. I thought you meant like
in their
race
race.
names, like we call them the black one, the white
No.
one. I thought I was being real racial right now. You know, they have race names. Oh,
Yeah.
Blackie. Get over here, Blackie. It's fucked up.
No. No, yeah, and it's if you do some like digging into like both those and I know like a lot of it's like fan stuff, but they've made it like official and it's really interesting stuff, like those backstories.
Right.
So something for you to look into.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah. So movies. That's my questions about the movies. I had another one. Barbarian. My point with Barbarian was that it was made by someone who was unknown, so it was like really hard to trace like what the fuck he was doing. Because there
Yeah.
was like points in the movie, I'm like, where's this going, and why do I care? Then at the end, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I fucking get it. I really liked the movie. It was a very crazy movie. So that being said, worst movie ever. You have 3 minutes. Worst movie ever.
Baby Driver. Just kidding. Just
Hey,
kidding.
that's one of them. But like what? Like what's like the
Like yeah,
like?
that movie that I legitimately didn't. Yeah. movie,
Like you just could never even watch a minute of it. Like fuck that.
and it's funny. Like if Baby Driver came on, I'd probably just watch like the first sequence and that's it. I think, and it's funny enough. Like if I see like Scott Pilgrim even on for like 2 seconds, I fucking turn that off. I fucking turn it off. Um,
That's fucking funny. That's really funny. Holy
I'm,
shit.
I think I don't know if I have like a movie that I legitimately hate. There is like a genre like the one like movies that my wife likes are those stupid like holiday movies
Oh
where like
my
they have
God.
where they
Can we
have
talk
like
about that for a minute?
yeah like where they have like a bunch of stars on
Why is it a thing now? It's a thing
like
now.
well it was like oh
Like
Valentine's
Jesse
Day,
from Full House and shit.
New Year's Day.
Yeah, Jesse
Like,
from Full House is like, or like they have like people from like when you're a kid, they see them again. Like I don't,
yeah,
they're
like I
back and they're in
uh
love for
mhm,
Christmas.
yeah. I hate those movies. Like I remember watching like What to Expect When You're Expecting. Like
Oh,
that was a fucking
those
dumb
training
movie.
videos.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, like those holiday movies. I hate those movies.
You hate
Um,
holiday movies?
not well, you know which ones I'm talking about, though, right? The ones that where they have like a bunch of stars on
I
it,
know
and
exactly what you're talking about. No, I know
yeah,
exactly. If
I
that's what you're
hate
talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I hate
I
those
thought you meant you
movies.
hate all holiday movies, but you hate those holiday
Yeah,
movies.
those specific
Yeah,
ones
fuck
where
those
like
movies.
every single person is like a A-lister in some way.
And they're dancing around in some fucking LA studio with fake snow. They're not out
Yeah,
there. They're not out there.
it's basically a super high budget Lifetime movie
They're it,
that makes it to the
and
theaters.
that's the thing now. Like I buy movies now on Apple, like on you know iTunes, whatever you call it.
Mhm,
And I've been downloading like I would buy movies like instead of DVDs, like I'll buy the movies because all my DVDs. Where are your DVDs? Be honest, they're in storage, right?
mhm.
Right. Same with me. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I had this movie, I had this movie. So I just buy them. And I saw a thing on Apple where they had like a bundle deal where it was like 20 of those Christmas movies for $20. So basically $1 a movie. And it's
Wow.
just like a
Is
bunch
it
of them
the
compiled.
Penny CD Club? Remember the Penny?
Right. Yeah. The Columbia House shit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is some bullshit. But
What the
like I
fuck am I gonna
thought
do
it's
with
like
a
you thought
puddle of mud
my
compilation?
life would love that shit. Like if I bought that for her, like, hey, check this out. Here you go. Have a good day. She would fucking love that shit.
Fuck.
20 movies. She would fucking her
Sucks.
mind would get blown.
Yeah, that sucks.